Last week, I found myself sitting in an upscale cafe, savoring a perfectly crafted, single-origin espresso, when a profound realization struck me. The woman I had become was virtually unrecognizable from my former self, who once craved sugary frappuccinos loaded with artificial flavors and excessive sweeteners. This transformation didn't happen overnight, yet the evolution was so subtle that I barely noticed it occurring. What I discovered is that many of us undergo this sophisticated metamorphosis without conscious awareness, developing refined tastes and elevated standards that mark our ascension into higher social circles. The signs are unmistakable once you recognize them. And by the end of this discussion, you'll understand exactly where you stand in this elegant transformation and discover whether you've already begun your journey toward authentic sophistication. First, let's examine the transformation that involves a complete shift in shopping psychology and aesthetic appreciation. Where discount fashion once provided instant gratification and that rush of finding a $10 bargain, you now find yourself examining garments with a discerning eye that recognizes inferior construction and cheap materials. The thrill of bargain hunting has been replaced by an appreciation for craftsmanship, durability, and timeless design that transcends seasonal trends. Fast fashion retailers that once captured your attention with their constant sales promotions now feel overwhelming and ultimately wasteful to your evolved sensibilities. You begin to understand that true value lies not in the initial price point, but in cost per wear and longevity of each carefully selected piece. This mindset shift represents a fundamental change in how you perceive material possessions and personal style choices. Quality over quantity becomes not just a preference but a lifestyle philosophy that extends far beyond your wardrobe into every aspect of your purchasing decisions. Hours that were once spent browsing endless sale racks now feel like wasted time. The excitement of accumulating numerous cheaply made items has been replaced by the satisfaction of owning fewer, better pieces. Now let's move forward to examine the second major indicator of this social elevation that affects your communication patterns. The compulsive need to justify every decision to others gradually diminishes until it disappears entirely from your behavioral repertoire. Social invitations that don't align with your values or energy levels are declined with graceful simplicity rather than elaborate explanations that exhaust both parties. This newfound boundary setting extends to all areas of life, from career choices to relationship decisions to how you spend your valuable time. The sophisticated individual understands that over-explanation often stems from insecurity and seeking validation from others rather than confidence in personal judgment. Confident people make decisions based on their own judgment and don't require external approval to feel secure in their choices or lifestyle preferences. This behavioral shift represents emotional maturity and self-assurance that distinguishes refined individuals from those still seeking acceptance. Where you once provided detailed justifications for being single or childless, you now simply state your position with quiet confidence. Subscribe now to discover the remaining signs that confirm your sophisticated evolution and join thousands of others on this transformative journey. The third characteristic we need to explore involves developing an aversion to ostentatious displays of wealth and status symbols. Luxury goods that once appealed primarily because of their visible logos now seem gauche and lacking in subtlety to your refined sensibilities. True sophistication appreciates quality without needing external validation through brand recognition or conspicuous consumption patterns. Investment pieces are chosen for their exceptional craftsmanship and timeless design rather than their ability to impress others. This represents understanding that authentic luxury whispers rather than shouts about your social position. The most expensive items often feature minimal or no visible branding because the quality speaks for itself to those who understand true value. Refined taste gravitates toward understated elegance that reflects personal style rather than conforming to obvious status symbols that scream for attention. A designer handbag is appreciated for its impeccable construction and timeless silhouette rather than the size of its logo. The sophisticated individual no longer feels the need to stack multiple luxury brands in a single outfit as proof of their purchasing power. Subsequently, we observe the fourth transformation in personal presentation and environmental standards that affects both appearance and living spaces. Attention to detail becomes second nature without feeling forced or performative in your daily routine. Clothing is properly maintained with pressed garments and clean accessories, while personal grooming reflects self-respect rather than vanity or seeking approval. living spaces begin to reflect this same philosophy of intentional curation over mindless accumulation of possessions. Clutter becomes genuinely bothersome because it represents chaos and lack of purpose in your carefully constructed environment. Every item in your environment serves a function or brings genuine joy, eliminating the excess that once felt normal and acceptable. This shift occurs organically because you recognize that you deserve to live in beautiful, organized surroundings. The pile of clothes that once lived on your bedroom chair now gets folded and stored immediately. The fifth development we must examine centers on becoming increasingly selective about social connections and time investment with others. Energy becomes a precious resource that you protect by choosing companions who elevate rather than drain you through negative interactions. Meaningful conversations replace superficial small talk as your preferred mode of interaction with friends and acquaintances. Toxic relationships naturally fade as you gravitate toward people who share your values and contribute positively to your personal growth. This selectivity isn't about arrogance or superiority, but about recognizing your worth and protecting your peace of mind. Quality friendships that involve mutual respect and genuine connection become far more valuable than maintaining numerous superficial acquaintances. You no longer feel obligated to attend every social gathering just to avoid missing out. The people you choose to surround yourself with reflect the person you're becoming. Next, we encounter the sixth transformation regarding conflict and public displays of emotion that affects your social interactions. Public drama becomes genuinely uncomfortable to witness, because it represents a loss of composure and dignity that you now value highly. Secondhand embarrassment intensifies when observing others lose control in social situations or professional environments. Your own emotional regulation improves significantly as you understand that true power lies in maintaining grace under pressure. Confrontations are handled with diplomacy and discretion, rather than explosive reactions that accomplish nothing constructive. This emotional sophistication recognizes that losing one's temper in public reflects poorly on personal character and damages relationships. Screaming at service workers or creating scenes in restaurants now seems not just rude, but genuinely disturbing to witness. The chaotic reality television shows that once provided entertainment now feel draining and unnecessary to your refined sensibilities. Professional disagreements are resolved through calm discussion rather than emotional outbursts that create uncomfortable workplace environments. The seventh evolution involves developing a more strategic approach to fashion trends and personal style that reflects maturity. Rather than adopting every seasonal trend wholesale, you begin incorporating elements that complement your established aesthetic preferences. Timeless pieces form the foundation of your wardrobe, while trendy accessories add contemporary touches without overwhelming your signature look. This approach demonstrates confidence in your personal style while remaining current and relevant to modern fashion standards. Fashion becomes a tool for self-expression rather than a desperate attempt to fit in with constantly changing standards dictated by others. Investment in classic pieces that transcend seasonal trends proves more economical and stylish in the long term than constant wardrobe overhauls. A well-tailored blazer, perfect pair of jeans, and high-quality knitwear create the foundation for countless sophisticated outfits. Instead of replacing your entire wardrobe each season, you strategically add one trendy element like a colorful scarf or statement jewelry. The goal shifts from wearing what everyone else is wearing to looking modern and polished on your own terms. The eighth characteristic involves a newfound appreciation for silence and thoughtful communication that transforms your social interactions. Comfortable, quiet moments replace the need to fill every pause with unnecessary conversation or meaningless chatter. You begin seeking out individuals who can engage in deeper discussions without constant noise or superficial commentary. Small talk becomes exhausting because it lacks substance and genuine connection that feeds your intellectual curiosity. Environments that promote calm reflection become more appealing than chaotic, loud spaces that overstimulate your senses. This preference for tranquility reflects emotional maturity and confidence in your own company without constant external validation. Awkward pauses no longer trigger anxiety or the compulsive need to say something, anything, to fill the silence. People who talk constantly just to hear their own voice begin to feel draining rather than entertaining to be around. Subtle conversations with meaningful content become far more valuable than loud, attention-seeking behavior from others. Furthermore, the ninth transformation affects your relationship with fragrances and sensory experiences in sophisticated ways. Overpowering scents that once seemed appealing now feel overwhelming and lacking in sophistication or personal consideration. Preference shifts toward complex, subtle fragrances that reveal different notes throughout the day without overwhelming others. Understanding develops that personal fragrance should be discovered rather than announced to everyone within a 20-foot radius. This represents an appreciation for nuance and the understanding that true luxury often lies in restraint rather than excess. Candy-sweet body sprays and floral explosions that could clear a room are replaced by well-blended, memorable scents. The goal becomes choosing fragrances that complement your natural chemistry rather than masking it with artificial sweetness. Quality perfumes that whisper rather than shout become investments in your personal signature rather than temporary pleasures. Finally, the 10th and most significant realization encompasses understanding that authentic class cannot be forced or performed for others. Genuine sophistication emerges from inner confidence and security rather than external validation or approval from strangers. The most elegant individuals carry themselves with quiet assurance that doesn't require constant proof or demonstration to others. Standards become personal guidelines rather than public performances designed to impress people or gain social media attention. This ultimate understanding represents true maturity and the recognition that authentic refinement comes from within rather than external sources. Being high class isn't about perfection or acting superior to others, but about carrying yourself with dignity and self-respect. It's about having standards without making a show of them and feeling secure enough that you don't need to prove anything. The transformation happens gradually and naturally as you develop confidence in your own judgment and taste preferences. Click subscribe and hit that notification bell right now to join our community of individuals committed to personal growth and sophisticated living. Your transformation matters, and sharing this journey with like-minded people accelerates your development and creates meaningful connections. Don't wait another moment to become part of something bigger than yourself and discover the elegant person you're already becoming.